Hello everyone and welcome back to the CFA Level 1 Top Tips series where I give you lots of people tips on how to prepare for the exam. My name is Ryan and I'm a management consultant working here in London, and in this video we'll be talking about how to prepare for quantitative methods, or as most people call it, quants. Feedback from the last video is that short videos on approach is useful, so we'll try and stick to that. Firstly, we'll describe the 3 pillars for success in quants, which also apply to the Level 1 exam in general. That's content, timing, and practice. I'll mention these pillars briefly because I want to spend the rest of this video talking about specific areas of the quant syllabus to focus on and quant exam tactics. So let's get started. Firstly, the CFA accredited texts are your friends and are available to you on the CFA portal free of charge. The content of Level 1 quants is very well described in those texts, so you want to learn as much from this as you can. Alternatively, YouTube is a very good source, as are the Schweizer books, which provide a more condensed reading of the CFA texts. In terms of timing, you've got 1 minute 30 seconds per question in quants, as you do for all questions in the Level 1 exam. However, quants may take you a little bit longer than this due to the computational nature of the questions. And lastly, as we know from the other CFA top tip videos, practice is super important for doing well on the exam. By far, the best way to get good at quants is just to bash through all the questions on the CFA portal free of charge. If you find yourself stuck on a question, the best place to start are the word solutions available at the end of chapter questions, or you may want to ask a tutor, or if those two options don't work for you, then please leave a comment in the section below and I will try to provide a word solution for your question. Cool, so that's the 3 pillars out of the way. Now let's talk about specific areas of the quant syllabus to focus on. There are 2 main areas within the quant syllabus that you want to know inside out. These are net present value calculations and probability. I say this because knowing net present value calculations will not only help you do well in quants, but actually comes up in all other areas of the CFA syllabus, with the exception of ethics, obviously. Therefore, it makes sense to have a conceptual understanding of net present value calculations and the factors that affect it. And in case you're wondering what those are, you can find them along the row of your CFA calculator, somewhere here. The other area of the quant syllabus that I would focus on is probability. Again, this comes up in other areas of the CFA syllabus, so knowing basic facts like the sum of all events summed to a probability of 1 will help you understand conceptually what we are doing when computing a weighted average or scenario analysis. That's the 2 areas of the quant syllabus that I would pay extra attention to. Now let's move on to quant exam tactics. Firstly, we want to make sure we know the formulae for everything they could possibly ask us on the exam. For example, if you see a question asking you to calculate a time-weighted return, you don't want to be spending 10 seconds of the exam thinking, what was the formula for time-weighted return again? You want to have this formula at your fingertips so you can plug the numbers straight into it. A side note to this is that you don't need to memorize statistical tables such as normal or t-distribution. In fact, if you ever need one of those tables, it will be provided to you in the question excerpt. Secondly, and this may seem a bit strange given what we just said, but we want to be less reliant on formulae. Most students who don't understand a concept simply memorize the formulae and try to plug numbers into it. That may work in a non-exam context, but if on exam day you happen to forget the formulae and you've got no conceptual understanding of it, you will simply end up guessing. Therefore, it's important to understand the intuition behind the formulae so that you stand a chance in recovering it on exam day if you happen to forget it. Lastly, and I've said this in other CFA top tip videos, but I'll say it again, you want to know your CFA calculator inside out. You don't want to be wasting time doing manual computations when the functionality exists within the calculator. This can save you precious seconds on each computational question, which over the course of a CFA Level 1 exam can add up to quite a lot of time where you can be getting more marks. So let's conclude today's video. We talked very briefly about the 3 pillars of success in quants and the Level 1 exam in general. That's content, timing, and practice. Next, we talked about specific areas of the quant syllabus to focus on, namely net present value calculations and probability. And lastly, we discussed important quant exam tactics, namely knowing the formulae inside out, not being too reliant on the formulae, and knowing your CFA calculator. So thank you very much for watching the video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, and if you would like to see more of the same thing, please hit the subscribe button. The next video I will be uploading will be on ethics, so have a great day and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye!